To really go next level, I have a brand new movie coming out on Lifetime this Friday, which I'm really excited about. I think y'all are gonna really like it. I get to combine so many things that I love. I'm dancing and acting, there's a little romance, and of course, Christmas time. So here's a little sneak peek at Steppin' into the holiday.
You know, maybe this all happened for a reason.
When my mom retired, I took over the studio. Best decision of my life. And now we're creating our own Christmas show. Should I add you to the lineup?
That's not me anymore.
At your core, you're this guy, not that guy. And if that means you are falling for a woman who doesn't have a publicist, then fall.
Oh. Little tease right there. I get fired from my job. I go back home because my mom's been asking me, and I reconnect with the family and through my nephew and this young lady named Ray, played by Jana Kramer, I sort of end up kind of finding love in the Christmas spirit again. You know how this movie goes. With a little dance and romance in between, so hope y'all check it out.
Welcome back to yet another stocking stuffer. We are deep. Our knees are snow deep in the fake snow that is happening in It's a Wonderful Lifetime, because that's where we are today. The Lifetime Network Steppin', no G and apostrophe, into the holiday. That is a really awkward phrase to say, and every time I say it out loud, it somehow sounds more awkward. So Steppin', apostrophe, into the holiday. This is a dance movie of sorts, and while there have been many great solo dancers, a movie like this really needs a partner. And I am overjoyed to have with me today one of our regulars, one of our standbys for the Cozy Cardigan Christmas world. She is a producer, a creator, a host, a very impressive person with a lot of enthusiasm that just always makes me happy. Welcome, everybody. Elizabeth Katheryn Gray, the head hauntress herself. Hello.
Hello, Emily. It's so good to be back on the show.
It wouldn't be the season without you.
But I thought we were friends.
What did I do?
Made me watch this movie.
No, didn't you pick this movie? Didn't I give you like a list of movies and I said like, well, I don't know any one of these.
I gave you the list and then you read out the list and then we agreed on this. So yeah, no, I did this to myself.
That's right. Don't you go putting your shit on me, man. Come on.
Oh, I mean, heck, I've actually been very lucky because most of the films that we've reviewed together on Cozy Cardigan Christmas have actually been at least watchable.
Yes.
So this is the first like truly traditional Christmas movie I've reviewed for you.
Yeah, and this one is it's Lifetime. This is my first Lifetime of this year that I'm watching. And, I usually prefer Lifetime to Hallmark, especially over the last few years where, the movies can be a little saucier. They can be a little more adult. Their casts are generally a little more interesting. I think the tide may have flipped this year. When you look at Hallmark's output, clearly Hallmark this year made an active decision and I know management changed. I think there's a new person in charge at Hallmark, and they actively said, we're going to be more diverse. We're going to have more, we're still telling pretty traditional stories, but we may have some gay characters. We may allow for some experimentation in storytelling and so on. So, I don't know if Lifetime is probably doing something similar. This is, again, the only one that I've watched so far, but this one's pretty typical of Lifetime. So before we get into all the things we have to get into, I gave you a list of a few. What about this one seemed like it would be appealing to you?
Well, you and I both have a mutual love of Broadway.
Yes.
So, and it did, and the plug said former Broadway star. So I was like, well, maybe there's some good chances for some good production numbers. I regret my decision, but and also, I haven't, like I said, I've dodged a bullet on this show. I've been watching actually watchable films, like last year's was Bruce Campbell. We did the 3 Christmas Prince movies, which are at least are watchable.
Yes.
And then I brought you Santa Jaws that one year. So, got to do one with Mario Lopez. Let's take one for the team and do a traditional Christmas movie. So here we go. So
Yeah. So the background on this one, it's directed by David Kendall, who has a very long resume, but it's actually not very Christmassy. Most of the stuff he's done is Disney Channel stuff. So I guess he was brought on because the idea of this was that it was going to be more song and dance, and there is a fair amount of dance in this one, which I think keeps it. And again, that might be why for me, I don't think I disliked this as much as you did. Partially just because when we never went more than 10 minutes without some form of dance, and I will take that.
It saved the movie, honestly, the dance numbers.
Yes, definitely.
Like for me, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
this one is written by Peter and Eliza Murrieta. They are a husband and wife team who write together. Again, they did a lot of other things, but the only Christmas movie I think they did was last year's Feliz Navidad or Navidad, because dad is all caps, so I guess it was something about a Spanish language Christmas and a dad. But I don't know, I didn't see that one. And this one, it's not that wide a stretch of a movie, but we still have to talk about the plot and what happens in order to give context. Elizabeth, would you like to go through the plot of this movie for everybody?
Of course, my dear.
Excellent.
Okay, so let's start. Mario Lopez, who's in many, many of these movies,
including Holiday in Handcuffs, which is one of, I think, like the most important hallmarks of the genre, because I think it was weird enough that it got more people to watch these than other movies.
And I did watch Holiday in Handcuffs because of you, so I definitely watched.
I'm sorry,
but his name is it's all good. His name is Guillermo, but he's AKA Billie Holiday.
Yes, Guillermo Hernandez, but yes, Billie Holiday is his stage name.
But his stage name is, and he just recently got fired from Dancing from the Stars.
No. Celebrity Dance Off.
Okay, Celebrity Dance Off. Same difference. But
although it's announced on Access Hollywood with that name of show. So I'm very confused on what they can say and what they can't say.
Yeah, okay. But, and he's fired by sassy executive sidekick Mario Cantone, of all people.
I forgot about Mario Cantone in this movie.
So he fires him after a breakup with his girlfriend, who's played by his real-life wife, by the way.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So he's fired from his show, which, of course, they say is taking a break, and his sassy agent is Sherry O'Terry, who really doesn't have much to do other than play with her dog named Shakira. And he decides, because he gets a phone call from his mom, to leave the big bad city of Los Angeles, there's a trope there, and go to the small town somewhere in the South and spend the couple of weeks with his mom and his single mother sister Marissa. So while he's there, he goes to his old dance studio where he learned how to dance growing up, and meets the daughter of the teacher, I believe, who's played by Jenna Kramer, who, by the way, Jenna Kramer's done a lot of these movies, and she's also done a lot of those Western films where they have the picture of like a horse and a field, and then her superimposed in the background of some kind of sunset. She did a lot of those.
I can see that. She has that kind of look.
Yeah, she does a lot of those romance movies. So she's she's a veteran of this genre all the way in Lifetime movies, and she's a dancer herself, and she's now.
Is she a dancer?
Yeah,
okay.
She's a dancer.
Like in real life, she's a real dancer.
Yeah, she can dance.
Okay.
You know, as much as Mario Lopez can, right? So she runs the studio now. And they're having a fundraiser recital so they can raise money so they can take the kids to New York City, to Broadway, so they can get inspired to become Broadway show dancers, which she used to be a Broadway show dancer herself, a girl on the line, as they say. And so, of course, he decides to help out, and they fix up a barn and make it a big deal and show off the town, and romance ensues. And there's some drama at the end, but not much.
Is there?
Not really. They say there's drama, but not really. And there's some dancing and some very chaste kissing, and that's about it.
Yeah. So the only thing you missed that I think is something this movie decided to do to make it appear as though it might be more interesting. The movie opens with it does the don't breathe thing. It opens with a scene from like an hour into it right? It opens with Mario Lopez and Jana Kramer dancing together, and like they're about to kiss, and then she's like, and then like clearly there's a disagreement going on, and she's like, "We'll be okay for the show, but that's it," and then walks away. So then it's 2 weeks earlier, so you're like, "Ooh, there's drama. What's gonna happen?" And why did they start that way? What did they think they needed to do with
I believe
that?
she says we're okay for the show. But for us, I don't know. That's the line. I had to watch it twice to get that line down.
Yeah, so you're thinking like, oh, okay, something big's gonna happen. Nothing big at all happens.
Not really.
Even the big like, okay, why are they putting on the show? They're putting on the show not because the dance studio is gonna close, but because like the kids want to go to Broadway, and they just need to raise a little more money. Like that's the stakes are, if you can say, very low in this movie.
Yeah, and I should also add that Jana Kramer also has a sister. There's 2 sassy sidekick sisters in this one, and she runs the diner called Off Broadway. Yet she doesn't know anything about Billie Holiday, who happens to be the most famous person to come out of this town.
And, like, wouldn't Jana Kramer and Billie Holiday have known each other? Like, if Jana Kramer grew up dancing at the studio her mother taught at.
And they're the same age,
they're
right?
the same age. They seem about the same age. I mean,
yeah,
and granted, Mario Lopez has had some very good work done to where who knows how old he is today. Like, he looks like he's 30. I'm sure he might be in his 70s at this point. So maybe it's that.
He probably has a picture in an attic somewhere that's aging for him.
Oh, definitely. I could 100% see that in this case.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I even think I made that note. I said,
that is some
in the
smooth
attic.
baby skin. Smooth baby skin.
Yeah. so it's watchable.
It's watchable because of the dancing. Because there is some good dancing in this movie. No,
not enough of it.
Not enough of it. I think a lot of it, like, there's a lot of just kid dancers who are in this movie who at different points they turn the camera on a bunch of like 12-year-old boys dancing and they're really good. I think Mario Cantone. I think Mario Lopez actually shows more dance skill than I knew he had. Like I know him. I never watched Dancing with the Stars. That's not true. I watched the Tanya Harding season. That was it. So I know he was on that. I know he's kind of a fixture of things, but I never think of him as an actual dancer. But he equips himself in this movie to where he's very much channeling Gene Kelly. Like there's one, because there's a little bit of like summer stock going on where they're like, fixing up a barn. And there's a scene that I think was very much modeled after a specific scene in summer stock. And watching this movie, I was like, oh, he is a dancer. He moves like a dancer. And that was my biggest problem with Jana Kramer, is that when she is dancing, you see it, especially when she's dancing with other people, including Mario Lopez, that she doesn't actually move like a dancer. Like, I'm sure she has trained a little bit, but she clearly was not somebody that worked professionally as a dancer, right?
Well, she got her start as a scream queen in horror movies. And the reason why
Prom Night.
Yeah, the reason why I know this is because she was in a movie called Laid to Rest. Laid to Rest is Chrome Skull, which is
Wait, didn't I see Laid to Rest? Didn't we cover that?
I think you have, and it's
who is she?
Marcus Hall. Rest in peace. She was the very beginning. She dies really early in the film.
Oh, okay.
Marcus Hall. Rest in peace.
Got
he directed it. Who was a mutual friend, and he also hired Jason and Sarah Trost for that. That was their very first job in film, and I ended up producing Jason Trost's last 2 movies.
Awesome.
So I said I had a small association there. So
very neat.
And Sean Whalen is also in Laid to Rest, and Sean Whalen is a bud. I love him to death. He is like my hero. But let's get back to Jana Kramer and her lack of dancing.
Well, I think she is a singer. Based on what I saw, at least when I did a little bit of research, like she definitely is a singer. And I'm sure, like a lot of times, she probably grew up maybe in a town like this where she was taking lessons here and there. But just the difference between, I don't know. I love watching dancers like do non-dance things. Like when you know somebody's a dancer and they're just like, I don't know, grocery shopping. Like I'm that weird person that's like, ooh, look at the move. Like they're a dancer, I bet. Because it's just really cool to me that they have this grace about them and they move differently. And she always looks like she is counting her steps it just, she knows what she's doing, but there's not that like natural movement that I wanted from the person who is cast as the best dancer in this town.
Well, she's also teaching all the kids, right? And the kids are out dancing her in every scene, right?
Yeah.
I would
so
say
much.
that for sure.
Completely, yeah.
But this movie hits almost every
It really
beat and
does.
trope.
Almost, yeah.
Almost. And it subverts some of them. I'm going to complain about the montages when we get to that point. Once again, I would only watch this for you. But I'll watch Holly's Holiday again.
Good.
Over this anytime.
Again, typically the percentage of good to bad in these movies is, I don't know, usually like 80 bad, 20 good, and you can break that up further of like, well, 60, like 50 maybe completely worthless, 20 watchable, 10 really good, and so on. This one I think is in the like, it's okay. It's not anything special, but it didn't. I think this one had enough ridiculousness about it and just badness about it, plus when in doubt dancing would happen, that I was okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's really what it is. It's okay. It's serviceable.
Serviceable. Yeah, it's a movie. It is a movie.
Jenna Kramer is serviceable. The movie is serviceable. Mario Lopez, he's basically paying himself to do a movie.
Yes, and let's get into it, because I think I would say our lead in need of a lesson. In this case, it's Billie Holiday. He's the lead in this one who needs to.
Yeah, it's not a female lead, but it does still hit the whole corporate person.
Get your values in order.
Go back to home. And
remember, family is important.
What was it? Finding your excessive joy? Is that what they were saying all through the film? It was some phrase like that they were always saying in the movie. Finding your joy.
Yeah.
So he has to go to the small town and find his joy and learn about reconnecting with his roots. So, okay.
Yeah, sure. Again, something these movies are doing, and now this is the second or third one I've watched this year that's done that same thing, where it's like, you need to start at a 12 and get him to a 2 as far as like being the jerk to being the nice guy. And this one doesn't. He's not a jerk. He's sad. He got fired. He comes home and he's fine. Like, I wish they made him more of a diva. I wish they did something interesting with him. But again, it feels like the same thing that happened with Lindsay Lohan, where Mario Lopez probably came into this as, no, I don't want to play a mean guy. So he plays it as just kind of a guy who got unlucky and who comes home and things work out for him. Like, he doesn't have much of a journey because they don't want to make him interesting because they're afraid that they're going to make him mean or unlikable in doing that. And, that's the point. But
he learns his lesson, I guess.
Sure.
And number 2, of course, we'll just go right into it. I sent you a link because I did find out this was shot in Nashville, Tennessee,
yep, which makes
Nashville.
Perfect sense when you look at it. Yeah.
Which also I will give it a pass on the cold person acting when we get to that because it is Nashville.
Yeah.
And
they never say where they are, right?
Yeah.
They just say it's a small town, and it's.
But nobody's bundled up, and it's obviously summer or any of that. They're playing like it's.
True. They're playing like it's Christmas in the South, even though nobody actually has a Southern accent. But yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So number 3, the bland love interest. And
oh my God, are they bland?
Yeah. There's no. I feel like Jana Kramer. So looking at her filmography now, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I did see her in a few things. It took me forever to figure out that I had seen her in anything. Because I'm looking at her, I'm like, I don't know, she's not ringing any bells. I definitely watched Christmas in Mississippi, which she is the star in. And the fact that I remembered nothing about her, it's just like she's of that school of Hallmark actress, where she is attractive, and that's just about it. Like, there's just, I don't know. There's no sass. There's no spark. There's no real place for her. And also it's that. Like, there's no place for her to go in this movie.
No. I actually, I didn't even realize she was, the main actress in the movie until, the scene with her first scene with Mario Lopez, really, because I mean, she's just like you could literally take any chick and make this anybody else. I mean, I don't want to diss on Jenna Kramer because, like I said, she's serviceable in this, but that's all I can give her. I can give her a serviceable, and neither one of them are very interesting. I mean, and the chemistry is kind of okay, but you know, I think as a working relationship I found them more interesting. When they started getting romantic,
That's a good
really
point.
didn't care.
Yeah, like when they're actually like doing blocking and decorating and going over the schedule, that like, oh yeah, that they're good partners.
Yeah, no, they should keep a working relationship for sure.
There you go.
So
All right, so you had some issues with montages, of which there are several.
They're short. Like there's 3 or 4 of them, but they're all like 30 seconds. Like
yeah, they are
very
short.
The establishing LA shot montage is like boom, boom, LA, boom. That's it. And then there's this is where I'm annoyed. We had a perfect opportunity to have fix up the barn, community come together montage. Right, with the music, and they start to do it. They start to do it,
and they're even playing Deck the Halls, which is what you're supposed to play when you're doing any kind of decorating or redesign in a movie.
Yeah, and then they pull back from it.
And it's 10 seconds.
Like,
and
then there's supposed to be this big recital, and they start to do the montage and one of my favorite montages in any kind of film like this is the audition.
The auditions.
Montage.
Oh yeah.
I love audition montages. Mm-hmm. Like Glee was one of the reasons why I watched Glee so much, is because they did the audition montage so well.
Yeah, and in the pilot too.
Yeah, and here we get what? Nothing. They cut away from it, and I was like, so they denied us.
There's dancing, I wrote down 4: dancing, ventriloquism, stretching, juggling, dancing. So it's there, but yeah, it could have been like waiting for Guffman. Like that's what I want out of that, you know, you have to, because everybody is good. I think that's the other problem. All the people that audition are really talented, and there should be like the old man doing a scene from Taxi Driver or something, you know?
Yeah, no, I was like, I felt like we were cheated of 2 possible awesome montages, and it's not like there was any like needed filler. I get that, but you know, I wanted more montage.
That's fair.
I wanted the barn had perfect opportunity to do a great friggin' fix up the barn, the whole community, and then they turn around and all look at the barn finish, and then they do the clap. We didn't get any of that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you need the moment where, you know, somebody lifts a sheet off of a piece of furniture and it's dusty and they sneeze, and then they, you know, look at the furniture and they realize how dusty it is, and then a minute later you then see that they have prettied up that piece of furniture and they go to sit in it and then it breaks. Like, yeah, there's a way to do this, and they did not.
No, in the barn montage, I mean, and I want to say that barn, they kept calling it decrepit barn, but clearly they were actually still using it.
Yeah, like it was.
There were animals walking in and out of it, and it didn't look that bad. The stage was in perfect shape, like seriously.
But that's the other thing you kept having was interspurts of cows. Right, this movie just after every commercial break, they would usually cut to like sheep, cows, farm animals.
Yeah, lots of chickens.
Yeah, and farming wasn't a part of this movie. Like, they didn't go into like, oh, we're an agricultural community, and you know, everybody here, oh, it's tough to send your kids to dance school because they have to go, you know, pick the corn in the morning. Like that could have been there, but it's just not.
It was also a Christmas tree farm, and there was no Christmas tree shopping.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, denied.
Yeah, there is one more. There is the big like show montage, which I was getting excited for because it starts and I'm into it. Like, there's the violinist, there's some good dancing, and then all of a sudden it's like little tiny girls dancing, and everybody's going ah, and then somebody's singing, and then I'm like, this is going on too long. Like now they don't know how to do the montage correctly.
Yeah, no, this was the most poorly executed montages I think I've ever seen in these movies.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. So number 5, our dead parents.
We got one.
We do get. It's weird that we only have one.
Yeah,
right?
and they actually don't mention he's dead. They just talk about him in the past.
They say like, I miss Dad. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So for all we know, he went off to war and never came home. Like we don't know for sure.
Clearly he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know if Marissa's a single mom, and she complains about it constantly to the film.
True.
But we don't know if she's divorced or her
Yeah.
husband is dead. I was leaning more towards divorce the way she was talking
But
about
I
it.
was hoping dead because she was a firefighter, so it would have been a good like, oh, when your father ran into that fire to save the barn, or it could have been like the barn caught fire and he died in the barn. Like, again, we're doing that thing. We're writing a better movie here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still say that you should write these movies, one of these movies. You would be so good at it.
You know,
and you-
can't. Once I do it, then how can I ever enjoy one again? You know, knowing how good they could be.
Well, you know.
Like, well, I'll tell you, if I wrote this, her parents would have been dead. I mean, what's the deal? Her mother
Yeah.
was the town dance instructor,
She's retired.
and she's
not
retired
dead.
and doesn't show up at all in the movie, which is
Nope.
weird. Why not say, yeah, well, I decided to take over after my mom died, or my mom got sick, so I had to help her out, and then I decided I really liked it here. But no, it's weird that her mother never shows up in this movie since her sister is such a prominent character. And, like, they're putting on a giant show in town with all of the kids that have come back that the mother taught. Why wouldn't the mother be there? There's a story there, I'm telling you.
Yeah, you're right. She would have come to the recital.
It's weird. It's very weird. Anyway, we have a lot to go over in number 6. Sassy Sidekicks.
Oh my God, there's so many of
There's
them.
so many.
I mean, Mario Cantone's in one scene, but I mean, the man wrote sassy
Yes,
sidekick.
very much, very much.
he is the ultimate sassy sidekick, and he's in it for a scene. Marissa is the sassy sidekick to the earrings.
Yes, thank goodness, because we have not had nearly enough dangly earrings in these movies this year.
And she tries to wrestle her brother, and that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I liked her. I'm not familiar with that actress. I know she's had a pretty big career. Carla Jimenez is her name. Refreshing to see somebody that doesn't look like everybody else in these movies.
Yes, I agree with that.
I would love, like, I would totally watch a movie where she's the lead and, like, the same exact thing, only she's the one falling in love. Like, I'm ready for that. I think it'd be cool if they do.
And then there's also Jana Kramer's sister. I don't even know what her name is.
I just wrote redheaded sister, Phoebe. Apparently, I'm looking at the cast list
Oh yeah,
now.
that's right.
Oh my God, this sister was just every time like her scene would come on, my husband would walk in the room, and it was just like the exact. He's like, how sassy can one be? Because like she's a redhead, she doesn't look anything like Jana Kramer. It's just like she exists only to be there and talk about pie and give that like winking, I think he likes you, here, have a pie. Like it's just the epitome of it. I was very happy to have that.
Yeah, like I said, there's I told you in a note, there is a glut of sassy sidekicks in this. And it's too bad because, the sassy sidekicks are much more interesting to watch than our leads, which is often the case, but,
It's harder when there's so many of them.
And they're pulling back. You can see they're pulling their punches.
Yeah, well,
maybe not Marissa, but, the others are.
Now, let's Sherry O'Terry, who kind of could go here or she could go in number 7. I think she goes here. Like, it also, what a weird... that there's a story behind that. There's like Sherry O'Terry owed somebody a favor or somebody owed her a little bit of money and they said, okay, well, if you do this, you just have to film for like 10 minutes. You're in 2 scenes. We'll film them all at once. That is all ADR, right? Her lips are not matching what she is saying at all in her 2 scenes. It's weird.
She's never looked hotter. Like she looked really.
She had
good
some good
movie.
lighting going on. Yeah. Again, maybe that was part of the contract on her side. She demanded, I want to act with my dog. I want good lighting, and I just let me do my own dialogue because it felt too like she was just making stuff up.
I mean, once again, she's in like 2 scenes, and and that's it, and then she's gone, and but she leaves her mark like Mario Cantone does.
Yes,
so you got the evil. I mean, but she's not an evil woman.
She's not. Like at one point, you could look at her as like, oh, she's gonna ruin the town because she's gonna, turn them into a Hollywood thing, or she's gonna try to bring him back. But no, there's no stakes in this movie, so there is no evil.
I thought that they were setting up where. And this is where I thought the tension would come in. Once again, writing a better film, that all of a sudden these vans were going to pull up with all these cameras and film the recital, and Jana Kramer was going to get all huffy about it. And, and we didn't get any of that, right?
Nope. Because the evil woman, quote unquote, number 7, it's presented as if it's going to be his ex, right? Joanna is the character. What is her name in real life? I guess that's his.
What is her name?
Somebody. She doesn't come up on the first page, so I don't know.
Courtney Lopez is her name.
Okay,
and once again, she is the real life wife of Mario Lopez.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So but no, yeah, she shows up, and you're like, oh my God, there's going to be a love triangle. At least we'll get that. No,
right.
No, that doesn't happen either. We don't even get that cross-talking. Accidental. Oh, I think they're kissing.
Yeah,
we don't even get that, right?
No, we don't. There's nothing. No stakes whatsoever.
Yeah. So, as a matter of fact, she's actually happy for him.
Yeah, she's like, oh, he looks really happy. No, I don't think we should bug him. Goodbye, and that's it. Yeah. Ugh. Okay. Now on that note, number 8, slapstick.
None.
Yeah, I didn't write anything down.
None.
That's weird.
And we had completely opportunity for that. You had the fixing up the barn.
Yeah.
There's always a good paint spill in a montage
Completely.
like that. We didn't get that. We did. There's plenty of
Dance
dancing.
injuries.
Nobody
Come on.
falling on.
Nobody
their
pops a
butt.
knee. Yeah.
Nothing. No slapstick.
Man.
We do get a dog that eats too much chocolate. But we don't even get
But no, we don't even get any like poop jokes. You're right. I mean, again, I watched a movie this year that ended with a post-credit sequence about pooping, and we don't even get a dog poop joke here. We just find out he ate a Snickers bar.
Yeah, which is no, but
Yes, be careful with your dogs.
Yeah, don't give them chocolate or onions, ladies and gentlemen.
No, yes, very much. Now, number 9, sage old person.
We do get one of those.
Do we, though? What does she do? What does she do, that sage?
I mean, she doesn't really give any pearls of wisdom.
No.
Mom is everyone knows Mom. Like, Mom is like a famous person in the town. But no, the only pearls of wisdom come from Jenna Kramer.
Yeah.
She gives some to Mario Lopez about excessive joy.
Yeah.
But she's not really a sage old person.
No, she just makes cookies. That's all she does.
And Chili Rellenos.
And Chili Rellenos. Yes, you're right.
She does
Right.
make
Of course.
Rellenos.
And then Santa Claus, once again. No real Santa Claus in this movie.
No. Oh, but we do get a Santa Claus ornament.
Yeah, but we don't get Christmas magic. Like, come on. Give me...
No, but, you don't have it this year, but that twinkly
sprinkle sound effect
sound is in the score.
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere in this movie.
It's excessive, and the first time you hear it is when she pulls out the fairy Santa Claus ornament to put on the tree.
Okay. Yeah.
So I made that note.
Got it.
But that's as much magic as this movie gets.
Yeah, the sprinkle sound effect is one that I took off the list this year because it was like not even a question anymore. It's like no, they all have it. Moving on. Like it didn't even seem it was a given to me.
Yeah, but I think it was a gratuitous use of it.
Yeah, very much. I agreed. Well, and this did something interesting too, because that moves us into the bonus round. Talking about the music, this is something I don't normally see when I watch the opening credits, is that they actually had like music composed and written by, or written and conducted by, like there was an actual music credit for somebody in the opening credits. So,
and it's 50-50. There is a lot of public domain. I mean, gratuitous Deck the Halls. Gratuitous.
Yeah, so much of it.
But there is like some of the dance numbers have original songs, and there's a folk song too. Remember the guy on the guitar, and we do get a little bit of a montage with his song.
That's right. Yeah, there's a whole like original Christmas song, and
but
interesting.
It's not really memorable at all.
No. Yeah.
But on your public domain side, Deck the Halls is used 4 times.
Yeah, and for decorating, so that's always important.
And then Joy to the World is used at least twice, that I counted.
Yep.
Carol the Bells and Holy Night were used once each.
Yeah. I liked Carol of the Bells. They did sort of as like an a cappella barbershop quartet.
Yeah.
Which was pretty to me. And I love a good minor key song. I used to always say I was afraid of Carol of the Bells. Like that when I hear that music, especially if it's children singing, I always picture them running after me with ice picks, ready to kill me.
Oh well, yeah, it leads into horror. Absolutely,
yeah, it's very haunting, and when it's used, but it's beautiful. And I was like, okay, the music was decent for some of that. And then the fireman was singing "Oh Holy Night."
Yeah, and he sang "Deck the Halls" earlier when he was painting on the barn. So, and he had a serviceable voice.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I will say they did highlight some older talented people
True.
in the montages, and I appreciate that.
Mhm.
That not everyone was young, cloying, dancing kids, the singers were all older people and more mature, and that was nice. So, we got that going on for it, I guess. I'm reaching here.
I know. All right. Well, secret family recipe.
There's two.
Yes.
There's two.
But we don't find out the recipe. We just find out that they exist.
No, there's a special cinnamon cookies and chili rellenos by Mom.
Yes.
We don't know what's in them.
No, we see them and they look very pretty. I like a good chili.
I don't know. I love chili rellenos. Those were kind of terrifying looking. I don't know what they were. Those were not any recognizable chili rellenos I've seen in a movie. They had kind of colorful sprinkles on them.
They were very cinematic.
Yeah, and they don't actually eat them.
Of course, they don't. Of course, they don't.
And there's also a lot of pie.
You're right. There's a lot of mention. We don't really see the pie.
No, they talk about the pies, but
Yeah.
the off-Broadway diner is clearly known
famous
for its pies. And she steals pies from her sister quite consistently, and then they poke around with some, but those weren't necessarily a special recipe pie. They were diner pies.
Yes.
But I want to say a good diner pie, as you know, because you're a New Yorker, can be a beautiful thing.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, so.
Let's see. Now, number 3 is our small business in danger.
No, off-Broadway seems to be bumping.
Perfect opportunity. Yeah, well, and the studio, why not have instead of, these poor kids really want to take a trip to New York, or these poor kids really want to keep having dance lessons, right? It's such a more powerful story if they're about to close.
And the other thing is that if this obviously is a centerpiece of the town, right? This dance studio, it would be a lot more famous than it is. Especially if it's producing Broadway show dancers.
Yeah.
There's a story there that they once again completely miss. I mean, there's just no tension whatsoever, and even the decrepit barn wasn't decrepit.
No.
So
I know.
Oh well.
All right. Well, the product placement. I kind of have 2 unofficial ones on here. I don't know if you have any.
I didn't really have any.
All right. So, I mean,
other than there was so many commercials because this movie is maybe 40 minutes long.
And so many commercials, and also now something that happens when you watch any of these movies on their cable network, and this is true of anything you watch on cable, often in the corner of the screen, there's a giant logo for the network. In this case, there's a scene, I think it's very early, I think it's in the opening, where one character is texting another character, and so it's doing that thing where the text is being read out on the screen. Only where it is placed on my television screen, the big Lifetime ornament logo was on top of it, so I couldn't read half of that text message.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's right, because across the bottom consistently there was ads for what seemed like better movies, like the Kelsey Grammer movie that they kept advertising, which was the movie that was next on the looked actually like a better film, and it had Santa Claus in it.
Oh, right.
This one did not.
Yeah.
So, I was like, why am I watching the Kelsey Grammer movie? At least it has jokes, So, but boy, I was mentioning this earlier. I DVR'd it, so I had the commercials with it, and I couldn't fast forward through the commercials, and it seemed like there were more commercials than movie. Yeah. So, anyway.
Yeah, and the other thing that's kind of in there is that Access Hollywood, I guess. Did Mario Lopez host? Does he host, or did he used to host Access Hollywood?
I don't watch Access Hollywood, but
because there's a joke at one point of how you could host that show. Let me see, Access. Well, no, maybe he doesn't. I don't know, but it was they actually used the name Access Hollywood. They didn't do Celebrity Dance Off the way instead of Dancing with the Stars. So I don't know if the woman who was hosting it is the real host. I have no idea, but I'll just assume. Sure, why not?
I actually think she is. I recognized her, but I don't really watch Access Hollywood. I used to watch Entertainment Tonight religiously, but not Access Hollywood. So,
So now number 5.
Oh God, yes.
Number 5, for those of you who don't remember, is the cloying child.
Junior.
Oh my God, this kid.
Oh my God.
This kid.
Okay. First of all, I have some issues with his name. His name is Junior. He's Marissa's son. He's Mario Lopez's nephew, or his tío, as he mentions. Okay, so his name is Junior, but it's a single mother. Okay.
Yeah. Well, but remember when what's his name, Billy Crudup left Mary Louise Parker right when she was about to have his baby? He left her for Claire Danes, and she still named her baby William. Maybe some people do that.
I wouldn't.
I mean, I wouldn't either.
I don't know.
But
I don't know. But he's a TikTok star.
oh God.
Bad dancer. The worst thing he does is get a D on his geography test.
And then the entire movie, he's like, I don't need geography. I'm going to be famous. I don't need to do anything because when I'm famous, people do things for me. I don't need to know how to tie my shoes. When I'm famous, people will tie my shoes. This kid, I hated him so much. I hated him so much.
And if they took those lines and gave them to Mario Lopez, it would have actually worked better.
Yeah, if they had him be that Hollywood boy who came home and forgot how to tie his shoes because he hasn't had to tie his shoes in 10 years, then it would have made sense. But instead, they make Mario Lopez is this perfect guy who Hollywood didn't change him at all. But here's his nephew who's hell and a demon child. I hated him. I hated him so much. And within like 10 minutes, because as soon as he shows up, the first thing he does, he's like, hey, teacher, I just put her dance on TikTok, so smash that like button. And I pause it and I look at my husband and I say, I hate this child. I hope he's in the entire movie.
He is.
And he's in so much of it.
And he's the only one that has any drama because he might not be able to dance in the recital.
I wanted him to fail that geography retest so bad.
Oh my God.
I really wanted the big drama to be he took the test again and he got a D. And now he can't dance, and then the movie just ends. And it ends on him crying. I wanted that for me. I didn't get it. I'm a little disappointed.
No, in fact, he actually becomes internet famous by the end of the movie.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah, great, great.
He gets happy endings for everybody.
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, great.
And again, the kid himself. I don't know. He's a young child actor. He's a dancer. I wish him a happy career. But Junior, the character of Junior, I wish a painful, fiery death.
In the barn.
In the bar. Oh, yeah.
That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah. And the firefighters can't get in because they didn't, when they redesigned it and stuff, they didn't get any approvals or do anything to code. So there's only one exit, and the exit gets blocked. Yeah. And he doesn't make it. That's
no, that would be a much better and a fiery ending to this movie, and everyone burns during the recital. Yeah. That would be awesome. But then again, I'm a horror geek, so
that's people.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ratings, man.
All right, on to happier notes. Number 6, our character with a holiday-themed name.
Well, I mean, our lead's Billie Holiday.
Billie Holiday. What more can he ask for?
But there is a couple of Billie Holiday, the singer, jokes at him a couple of times. Mario Cantone makes one at him, and Sherry O'Terry makes one at him.
Again, I'm pretty sure both of those were the actors writing those jokes.
Yeah, I'm sure they were. So, okay. So, yeah, but that's really the only person that has a holiday name.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody else.
Yeah. And even the town name, I wrote down Garnett.
Yes.
Okay. But they say it once and that's it. And but again, it's just odd. Okay, so number 7, finding the perfect tree.
They talk about it, they never do it.
Exactly. Because I wrote down there's a Hernandez family tree, but I don't remember anything else about that.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. The father, the dead parent,
dead dad,
saved the fire from a tree. I do remember this plot point.
Oh, right.
He saved the sapling from a fire and he planted it in the park, and that's the moment that they kiss for the first time.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's kind of nice.
That is actually a valid Christmas trope.
Yes.
I give it that. But the perfect tree, they talk about looking for the perfect tree at the perfect tree farm, at the barn, but they never actually show us them buying a tree.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So,
well, number 8, ridiculously elaborate holiday cocktails or beverages. Let's say beverages, because boy, do we get them in this One.
And it combines with a 9, which is one of my
yes,
favorite
it does.
bonus. Okay, so the Off-Broadway makes a special mint coffee.
Winter Mint Choco Fantasia is what I
Yeah,
wrote down.
that's right. Good job. You
Yeah,
remember that.
they say it 3 times, so that's how I was able to get it.
And so it's Jenna Kramer's favorite holiday drink, and the Off-Broadway makes them specifically for her. And they said the only reason why they make them is because she wants them.
Right, now it looks like a milkshake with whipped cream that doesn't move and like peppermint candy cane on top, right? And like there's like 12 things sticking out of it.
I would totally drink that.
I would have a sip of it and then say, okay, no, that's enough for me.
See, I'm a coffee crazy person, so I would definitely.
I don't like
drink
sweet in my coffee.
I like spiking my stuff with Kahlua in particular. So, but if it had something like that in it, I'd be down for it. Yeah. But I don't do the Frappuccino thing at Starbucks or anything.
Yeah, I can't handle like the heavy milk. Like I think I can, and every time I've tried to have a drink like that in the past like 15 years, I end up just having a very bad tummy ache the next day. So I've given up on that.
Yeah, no, okay. And then, of course, we'll go right into
the empty coffee cup acting.
Because there's no empty coffee cups, but clearly those Fantasia drinks are props. Because the whipped cream, we see them 3 separate times in the movie. The whipped cream never melts. And every time they take a sip, you hear this little tink, and then they put it back down. So clearly it's hollow, but gloriously bad. And you can tell that they're trying. I'll give them E for effort on this. They're trying not to make, it's not like the last movie we did with One December Night where the chick was carrying 2 on top of each other. And no, they actually are trying to make them look like they have some weight, but
true.
No.
There's a few more too, even aside from the Winter Mint Fantasia spectacular. The sister at one point is drinking like a mug of coffee, and she's holding it with 2 hands. And you can tell she's doing it that way, like as if to really like remember that you're holding coffee. Remember that this is supposed to be a drink that you were drinking and there's coffee inside of it. And there's not. There is very clearly not.
Yeah, no. And we get a lot of really bad eating acting.
Oh, yes, we do. Number 10.
Oh my God. There is so much bad eating acting. And that's actually my favorite part of the movie is watching these people eat. Because they're just it's epic this time.
And that's, again, like to me, like that's one of the things that's become the joy of watching these movies, where even if like it's not, again, these are not movies that I would just like sit down and turn on and watch for fun, but when I have those things to look for, it becomes really fun. When I am just waiting for food in a scene, because it will allow me to see what an actor's going to do. Are they going to just keep picking up a fork and putting it through their mouth and then putting it down and talking? Are they going to just move something around their plate the entire time? Are they going to take a bite and then hope that the camera cuts away so that they can spit it out, but then cut back to them pretending to chew? All of those things, they have to do all of them, and it always looks terrible, and it's so entertaining.
And there's a huge dinner scene where we get like the entire cast pretty much doing it at once. So that was a redeeming quality of the movie.
Yeah. There's quite a few of holding beverages and never taking a sip of them.
Yeah. I mean, because, it's so cold in Tennessee, I guess, that they have to keep their hands warm.
Yeah, true. So number 11, obviously we don't have Canadianisms.
Nope.
But going into 12, warm weather watch. So yeah, you're right. Like they kind of don't pretend it's cold. But doesn't it CGI snow at one point?
It does. When they kiss for the first time, it snows.
Yes, while everybody's wearing like short sleeves and
Yeah, that may be the only Christmas magic in the movie is that tree. So yeah, and also going back to trees, there is a lot of tree decorating in this movie. Like Jenna Kramer is standing in front of 3 separate trees in this movie, like randomly putting like one bulb on a tree.
You're right.
So, but no, like I said, I kind of give it a pass because it's shot in Tennessee, and they're not really. And I also looked at Jenna Kramer's IMDb page, and she tends to shoot a lot of these Christmas movies in the South. She shot one in Louisiana, shot one in Mississippi, and then we know that. And I'm down here right now in Christmas season in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's it's 70 today.
Yeah.
So so I'm gonna give them, and this one I will give them the rare pass, unlike One Night in December where they're all wearing no gloves and going ice fishing.
Well, I guess Jana Kramer, she's not Southern. She's from Detroit. But she's definitely made a career out of South a little bit. She has like a minor, I guess she released a couple of different country songs. She was on Friday Night Lights. Like, she definitely has sort of taken up a little bit of the South. But she, doesn't feel South in a movie that could have had that going for it. I don't know.
They didn't lead into it.
No, and they could have. And
yeah. Once again, we could have wrote a way better movie than what we were watching.
Yeah, or cast a better one, I guess.
I would even say with the cast, we might even be able to do a better
True.
film.
Yes. If you kind of honed into what made them work and it'd be interesting.
Yeah. Well.
So,
oh well.
Yeah. I mean that's the movie.
It was a movie.
It did indeed. So I think I know your feelings on it. Is there anybody that you recommend it to? Do you think if there's any reason for somebody to watch this?
I know there's a huge fan base for these films, and if you want comfort food where you're not if you have to decorate a tree or you're doing your dishes or vacuuming your floors, this is the kind of film you'd put in the background. Because you're not going to miss any of the plot.
No, there's no conflict.
None. So I would say that for that, maybe. But...
Yeah, I think if you're because again, some people watch these movies for this reason. If you really want a no conflict movie, right? This is one to watch because there is no stakes. There is no real concern that there's going to be a misunderstanding or a character's going to make the wrong decision. No, there's nowhere to go here. So if that's one of the things that you like about these movies, then by all means, this one's that. And again, even having said that, this to me is still a little more interesting than some of the other movies at this level just because of the dancing. The dancing at times is very good.
And it's not misogynistic.
No.
And so I'll give it that because a lot of these movies can be uber misogynistic, and it's not really that.
Yeah,
so,
this is not trying to put anybody in their place. As much as I don't think Jana Kramer's character is that interesting, she has a good moment where she basically says here's my life story. I was a dancer. I thought I wanted to be a professional dancer. I was on Broadway. I got cast. I was traveling. I was the head dancer of Katy Perry, and I realized I don't like traveling. I want a home. I wanted to come home and be in one place the rest of my life. And the movie never judges her for that. The movie never has a character say oh, but you could have done this. No, this was what she realized she liked and what she wanted to do with her life. And
we could have had that tension, though. I mean, they start to.
Yes.
She thinks he's going to leave. He's going to go back to L.A. But Sherry O'Terry has given him a green light to do a talent show at local small towns. So if they're going to do that together, that means she's back on the road. So that's a whole different sequel that could actually have some tension. But would we really want that sequel?
No, I'm good.
No.
Thanks.
So.
Yeah, I mean, Mario Lopez, do another one of these next year. Do another dancing one. I might just watch it. I was surprised that I kind of liked him in this.
Well, it's so funny because my boyfriend's is it starring? He's like, is it Patrick Muldoon or Mario Lopez? He just asked me straight out, and I go, it's Mario Lopez. So
he belongs in these movies. He is one of those actors that I think. It's funny, my dad always liked him because I think my dad was I don't know, he can sing and dance. That's cool for an actor these days. Mm-hmm. The thing about Mario Lopez that I will give him, and I know he's also said some very terrible things. I don't know if he's ever taken them back, but he at one point just kind of seemed to not understand a lot of the world and spoke out about it, which is very unfortunate. But separating that part and just looking at him as a performer and in terms of his career, he has never tried to go outside of what he should and can do. I'm sure there's some drama in his filmography, but he's never been the guy to be no, I'm going to win an Oscar. He seems to understand exactly who he appeals to, and he finds a lot of ways to play in that space. So this type of movie makes sense for him. I think he's very... he actually has the right presence for this type of movie.
like I said, this is a serviceable movie.
Yeah.
That's as much as I'm going to give it.
Fair.
I'm not even going to give it a grade. I'm just going to go, it's a film.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's maybe, I don't know, half Winter Frappa Kappa Candy Cana Lena, whatever you call those
I
drinks.
still would give the drink a shot. That's like the only thing. But I'd be able to act way better with the coffee cup.
Obviously.
I mean, but anyway, so that's this movie.
It. Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch a better one this year. I mean, there's actually a couple of big film, like, I don't know, Spirited. Everyone's saying that one's good, so maybe I'll give that one a go. That's the I forget.
Oh, the Apple TV Ryan Reynolds one.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't have Apple TV, so I'll have to.
Hey, the beauty of the particular moment of time that we live in now is that from October to December 25th, there will be an endless assortment of new Christmas movies for you to try.
Oh, yeah.
The odds are good that, one of them is going to be of merit for you. So I'm rooting for you. I think you can do it, considering there are, I think it's over 140 new Christmas movies made for TV this year.
Oh, and I'm totally gonna go see the Violent Night movie with David Harbour this weekend.
There you go. See,
so
plenty of greener
Vengeful Santas. I'm all about that. So all right. Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Emily.
It is. Now tell everybody where else they can find you.
My own show. It's called Archivist Bets on Sexy Witches. You can find it on Twitter and on Facebook, if Twitter's still around, at the Sexy Witches. And our next show, I don't know if this is going to air before then, but it will be December 7th, so a week from Wednesday. And we have Steve Barton, the executive producer of Terrifier 2, the Cinderella movie of 2022. We had a great season on Archivist Bets on Sexy Witches this year. I had Dean Bahar on the show. We had a bunch of indie directors, including the director of Slapface, the hit on Shudder. I mean, I had a great season this year, and we're going to end on a huge note because Steve Barton and I go way back, and it's really neat to see my friends. Like I said, I'm kind of like rooting them on from crowdfunding a film and getting $10 million. I mean, it does happen, people. It does happen. so come and listen to, and we're also going to recap everything that happened in 2022, good and bad. So we're going to lead off with the death of Kevin Conroy also on that show. So come and listen.
Highs and lows of the year, to be sure.
Yep.
Oh, well, it was a pleasure having you. Everybody go find Elizabeth and dance if you want to, or find a better movie about Christmas dancing.
Yes, but happy holidays nonetheless.
Yay!
Okay guys, today we're gonna dance like one of my favorite Christmas treats, a gingerbread man. But first, we gotta transform into one. Are you ready? Here we go. Start with the cookie dough and cut out the shape. Bake it in the oven. Now it's time to decorate. Icing all around, candy up and down, arms out, legs out like a star. Let's dance around to the gingerbread cookie dance, 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 to the gingerbread cookie dance.